Welcome back to my last ever MeowNet video. As you can tell, you do not have permission to play this game. I knew this was a problem because there's a lot of people going around on the reviews saying they're being banned for stupid reasons like not being old enough, which as you can tell, I'm obviously old enough. Even though the birthday I put in on the first time I filmed myself playing MeowNet wasn't real, I am obviously over the age of 13. It seems I've been banned. I was gonna film a MeowNet video because I'd recently sorted out the issue, because there's an issue where I'd fall through the floor of my dorm over and over and over again. So I put a table underneath it, a giant table, so I could stand on the floor, and then I put a dorm skin. I was making it look all nice, and now it appears I've been banned from MeowNet. So I'm just filming this little snippet video here because if you're wondering in the future why I'm not probably going to film any MeowNet content ever again, and I'm just going to stop saying do your MeowNet best or stuff like that, it's because of this. If this isn't a ban and it's something else and whatever, because you see, I just said click to retry. So anyway, we're gonna play VR chat. Yeah, we're gonna play VR chat now. Yeah, some things are too good to be true, and MeowNet was definitely one of them. I'm not going to be really filming any Rec Room, revival content, because I'm not going on the Discord for vanilla. I'm not getting a virus for trying to download Radium. I'm not gonna go through all of that stuff just to get a Rec Room revival that nobody's gonna play. Now, why I'm going to this world here is because what I was gonna film is a RIP Digital Circus kind of segment in the MeowNet video. Because I was gonna go around, I was gonna be playing paintball, and I was gonna be talking about the situation with Digital Circus and how it's ended and everything. And trying to look through the inventions, see if there's any Digital Circus things. Because I was a big fan of Digital Circus back in the day. I was a big fan of Digital Circus back in the day. I can't tell if this is copyrighted audio or not. So, I don't know. I don't want to click on anything. Oh. I actually don't like the fact that they're talking about kicking anyone who's discussing the leaks, because everyone's seen the leaks. I've only seen a little bit of the leaks, so I don't really know what happens in the finale, but I do know the finale is going to be hot garbage. So basically what I was going to say is that basically we shouldn't be sad that Digital Circus has ended and it has had a pretty rough ending from what I've seen. We should be happy that we ever got a show as phenomenal as Digital Circus and was able to build a fandom around the characters that we love. Even though, spoiler alert, Jax is apparently, maybe not that much of a spoiler now that I think about it, even though Jax is apparently a Gooseworks self-insert character. Well, it's treasure down here. And we all know how Gooseworks acts. People are still defending Jax and Gooseworks, which is, I think is, I don't want to click on that. I don't know what I'm going to send to. Very problematic. Digital Circus as a show had a lot of plot contrivances and things. Everyone was building up Ribbit to be a big character, and then from what I've seen, Ribbit's in maybe 2 minutes of the finale, and it's not even in the present day. It's a flashback. Still spoiler learning for this entire section, by the way. And they never even go to half of the things they describe on the grounds of the Digital Circus, which is dude, you're meant to do that in you know, your show. Like, oh, there's all these kinds of crazy, wacky things. You could have just never told us those existed, and then we wouldn't have had any contrivance about that. You know? Now they're probably gonna crucify Gooseworks. I've seen a TikTok about Gooseworks getting crucified. And the fact that, like, spoiler warning again, there's always gonna be a spoiler warning over this entire... While I'm here, it's probably gonna be all spoilers. The fact that it's like, oh, none of your favorite characters are ever gonna be able to leave the circus because they're all AIs. Which... made a lot of sense. Them removing that is stupid, by the way. Not that I was gonna use it or anything, it's probably to protect against, like, spoilers for the finale being shown. The gun not even being shootable. This is why Rec Room was better in almost every way than VR Chat. I'm just being bitter about Rec Room. Rec Room wasn't that good compared to VR Chat, because in Rec Room, you can't be anything you want to be whenever you want to be it, you know? But... I shouldn't be bitter about Rec Room. I'm basically projecting my bad experiences in Rec Room onto the fact that MeowNet has banned me for no reason. Because when I mean no reason, I mean there's literally no reason for them to ban me. And now that I'm banned from it, I can say basically whatever I want to say about it. I was in a rec center, or a meow center, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm just pissed right now. I'm just mad. And, anyway, you know, I was in a MeowNet rec center, and there was admins there. And now what these admins began to do is they began to spawn in a whole bunch of, like, items like bow and arrows and stuff, and then they eventually began spawning in a whole bunch of cotton balls, or, like, not cotton balls, snowballs. And there was a server-wide message across my screen that says, Coach says, pick up all this cotton, you N-words. And that was one of the most insane experiences. I didn't catch it on camera, but I caught, like, my reaction to it afterwards on camera. I'm not going to be pulling up that clip, because if we're going to be doing that, it's going to be a lot of editing, and as you can tell, my little YouTube channel, I don't edit anything because I don't have any editing software outside of CapCut, and I don't want a CapCut logo to be on it the whole time because I'm not paying for premium CapCut on basically me being able to, I don't know how to edit, so me doing, what the fuck is this? Me editing would just be like, it would just unnecessarily adding a CapCut logo and having, like, a stupid little outro or something, you know? It wouldn't be worth the CapCut logo in the corner the entire time for the amount of editing I'm able to even physically do. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's weird. And that's enough of in here. I'm not gonna go down that hallway. I'm not gonna go down the hallway with the door art being a furry OC. If this gun could shoot, I'd use it on myself. There we go. I can take off my head. It's a fun thing about this avatar. It's very fun, very funny. Anyway. Yeah, like I was saying, the moderation. Even the mods were evil, bro. Even the fucking mods, bro. There was a lot of problems on MeowNet, because the only reason I was playing MeowNet is because MeowNet's, like, one of the Rec Room revivals so far I've found that you don't need to, like, go into Discord, talk to the admins, have them do whatever, download a PC downloader, download the files for, like, stuff like Radeon or, like, Vanilla, where you gotta go in there and you gotta talk to an admin on the Discord, and you gotta do a whole bunch of things. Like, just to get into a game that, you know, is full of people who don't care for community guidelines, or just being racist. Which, there was even a guy, and the corruption in Meow was crazy. There was a guy, he called in his friend, his name was Coach. And the dude was a moderator, because he was flying in the rec center. I don't even know what the fuck I am right now. The dude was a moderator. Oh, this is trippy. What the fuck? The dude was a moderator, he's flying around, and he banned some dude for assaulting the other guy when I was there for like a good long time, and I didn't see anything happen between the two of them. This is trippy. Where am I? Where am I right now? I was just randomly going through a door. And I just ended up in the void. What? Where am I? I've barely been on this world. That's why I'm so confused on what is everything. What is anything? Well, anyway, back to what I was saying before I got confused. The moderation was just literally just corrupt and evil, and I was only playing MeowNet because it was one of the only like Rec Room revivals that I could find that you didn't need to go through like 10,000 different steps and stages. Because there was like ones like games like Act 2 that was supposedly supposed to release back on June 1st, but I checked after June 1st, it wasn't on the meta store yet, which is somewhere it was advertised to be. I haven't checked since, so I will check again. If I can try and do it, if I find a good Rec Room revival, that will most likely be the next video I post. Me playing a new Rec Room revival, because MeowNet was good. It was good. It was great. They had a Connected Freddy. They had a McDonald's. They had all kinds of things. But they didn't have good moderation, and they didn't have certain Rec Room originals. There was like a lot of things they didn't have. I didn't know how to fly. Like, I even looked at the advanced settings. It was the same button as original Rec Room to fly, but I couldn't fly because that was the big thing I was trying to discover, is how to fly, because it was in the dorm and I was constantly falling through the world. To actually have a recording of that, I was constantly falling through the world, and I couldn't find like the furniture section in the Maker Pen because you had apparently like there's a little menu on the side and you had to click a button to get to it. That's how I got the table that I eventually would have put under the dorm to have something to actually stand on. Dorm room skins didn't work. You had to like get one off the inventions page, and you had to basically personally line it up, which took a lot of effort. And this you could save your dorm room, but it was extremely hard to do it. Well, it wasn't extremely hard to do it. It was extremely hard to find the save that you wanted when you had it, because the saving system was confusing, more confusing than Rec Room, because you couldn't name your saves, and it was just like a certain time and stuff. And for me, who was having to save a lot of times because I would get like the dorm rooms getting like almost perfect, and then like something would happen or stuff like that. I'd spawn in something and it would like solidify itself, and I couldn't delete it after a certain like minute. It was like I spawn in, and the second I'm not like actively selecting the thing, I cannot select it again. And that was very annoying, so I'd have to constantly like go into the rec center and come back, and go into the rec center and come back to reset the room without it being saved. And then I had to dig for my saves because I was trying to get like one where I had dorm room skin lined up, and I like spawned something by accident in the middle of the room. I couldn't move it anymore, and then I eventually just restart on the whole dorm room skin positioning, and it was so annoying. And eventually I didn't even really fix the problem that I had set out to solve with putting the table underneath, because I could still just phase through all the walls of the dorm skin, and I couldn't get into like the little area with the like the ladder. I couldn't get on the bed. I couldn't get basically anywhere, and it was extremely annoying to do that. And there was barely any player created content, which I had rationalized to myself, oh, it took Rec Room whatever amount of years to get the catalog it had. And then, you know, as you can see, me getting banned was just the final straw. The straw that broke the camel's back, so I can come into VR chat here and vent about a whole bunch of things. I just kind of ramble, kind of rant, you know? Because now I'm under no fear of like, oh, what if I say something like a meow.net moderator comes on like is scrolling things through Meownet, and they like search up Meownet, and they see, what the fuck is this? Genuinely, what the fuck am I looking at? They come onto my come across my YouTube channel, and some of the videos I posted about Meownet, I'm like, oh man, moderation's horrible, or something like that. If I would like say something like that, and then they just like, I don't like him, ban him. That's why I've like always tried to be more careful about like things like the Spider-Man game I play, which is called Untangled, because while it's probably not going to happen, the whole reason I started Wonderizer was to get like a content creator badge on that, but I'm like, probably never going to reach that, you know? And whenever you were in a game with a moderator, you slip up one time and say something they don't like, they could just strike you out, you know? So it's kind of annoying. You know, there's a whole saga with just basically me living in fear of moderators. I don't really live in fear of them too much now because I'm not trying to gun to get a badge on Untangled. And I've gotten a lot more VR games on my headset since I started Wonderizer, which was not actually that long ago. Basically, I got a lot more games that I enjoy, so I don't need to be like, oh, Untangled, because Untangled was like one of the main games I would play. You know, but now I have things like Battle Talent and like other ones like that. It's the Fat Jacks I used in the Fat Jacks Attacks video. That's crazy. I didn't even know that was there until now. I probably saw it before in the recording and I didn't even... Yeah, I gotta stop getting distracted in these things. Just get my point out that the situation of Meownet and me eventually getting banned on there was like, why? So, do you know where, viewers, I'm gonna try to find another Rec Room revival. Probably something like Vanilla, where you have to go in there. I'm gonna be scouring TikTok because that's actually where I found Meownet from. Meownet was fun while it lasted. Because instead of being like something like vanilla or just like a different coloration of the Rec Room logo, it actually had its own like little Rec Room logo version with the cat stuff put on it, and it was fun. It was a fun game while it lasted, but scamming was running rampant because they would have these like things where you can sell buttons, get 10,000 tokens per every press, and I kind of knew that they were fake, but I'm like, this game is in a state where probably that could work in some way, because I did randomly get 15,000 tokens free at one point in a package and said, sorry for our mistakes. I'm like, what? And I bought the entire like dark cowboy set off of that. And then I eventually bought one of the free tokens buttons. I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. So there's probably people out there getting scammed because they're charging like 10,000 for like, oh, get 40,000 free per click. And I was like, $10,000 for the button, that's a steal. I'm gonna go back in here because there's not really any area that I haven't scoured yet. I'm fearful. Just gonna look at the OCs while I walk through here. So canonically, I think these are like the profile pictures, like the mods or something. Because canonically, all these guys are still in the game apparently. Yo, what? That guy's using a similar avatar to me. That's a little bit. That threw me off track. Because the avatar I'm wearing is called like a customizable jester. I could make myself all kinds of different colors and like have all kinds of different heads. Yeah, that's that kind of threw me for a loop seeing that picture there. The hallway full of furries and things. This feels, you know what this feels like? This feels like going through one of those like FNAF security breach games where it's like all the OCs. Like it was like on Rec Room. I used to play one of them because I could just go around, torture people, just fuck with them. What in the fuck is going on down there? That's in that hole in the middle of the building. I'm gonna go over there. Big perk that Rec Room also had over VR chat is the fact that Rec Room was in a state where you could kind of just like spin against things and eventually get out. Like with VR chat, you can see my entire body right now because my head's through the wall, so you can't really do that. There's still more hallways, but I'm not gonna go down there because it's just like furry OCs of like the creators of this game, and that's annoying. to have to sit there, just look at all of them. That's a hole down there. So the other hole, I think it's over there. I think it's that one. But yeah, like mostly, it's kind of just for really want to be in an area where there's a bunch of furiosities. Yes, right place. I'm in piss. I'm swimming in piss. Oh my god. I don't know where I got the idea that there was piss from. I think that's Zubal's torture right there. Not Zubal, Gangle. Zubal was a pile of this. Or something, I don't know. Well, I think this is Zubal over here. This big pile of pieces and mirror. Kane was straight up wilding in episode 8. The fact that, like, Jax had, like, a redemption arc. Like, I truly believe that Jax was gonna get a redemption arc because he was, like, slowly over the episodes from, like, episode 4 onwards, kinda. They had, like, I can't get out of here now. I'm stuck. I'm not stuck in the fact that they closed doors. I'm stuck. Everything is so dark that I can't tell which way is out. Like I was saying, I believe from like episode 4 onwards, when Jax, we started seeing the more humanized part of Jax. I'm like, oh, maybe he's gonna get a redemption arc. No redemption arc for him. Those eyes follow me. That's kind of freaky. It's invisible from the back. This is not very good craftsmanship. God damn it! I forgot where I am again. There's a crack here. Yeah. Like, but he didn't end up getting a arc, which really pissed me off. What the fuck, dude? He just dies. He literally just dies at the end of the series because they're all AI. So it's not like there's no like thing like a perverted method, like, oh, maybe abstracting is getting out of the circus. No, abstracting is breaking the personality that was originally pre-packaged with you when you were scanned into the circus, because the circus can't adapt to someone being crazy when their personality that was scanned off them was like excitement. So like, if you're not excited anymore, then the circus can't like AI generate your mindset, so you just fucking die because they're all AI. Abstracting is literally just them basically dying, which is insane. We still have no explanation on how Jax was able to get all the keys for everyone's rooms, because I know they have to concentrate really hard to conjure things in. So is Jax just sitting there in his room, fucking like meditating? Please give me the keys to Zubal's room. I would love to go in there and hit her with a pipe. You know? Like, there's not really explanation for that and why he has it. He just kind of does, you know? Even though they can all conjure something if they practice really hard, like the demonstration I guess gave there, why would he be concentrating extremely hard on getting everyone on the keys? Because he didn't know how to conjure it. After he conjured the keys, why would he just be like... Because if they came with his room, then Jax was like a peeping Tom, that his personality is so much like in the ways of what needs to be created for him that they need to create keys to girls' rooms. And also, why was there not more men in the circus? Because if it's like an abandoned building, then that is like, you're gonna get all the men. And also, why the fuck was someone like Zubal or like Gangle in the circus's like headquarters? Why was this coward and a bartender both in an abandoned building? I mean, bartender maybe, but like a coward like Gangle. Anyway, before I get too off track, I'll see you later. Do your Rec Room best, and remember, JFK was assassinated by